What's up, everyone? We're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on Prize Picks today. Now, if you watched yesterday's YouTube video, unfortunately, we only got 1 out of the 3 picks correct because the Thunder and Pacers game was a blowout, so the picks didn't go our way. So really sorry about that, but we have some locks for you today in the WNBA, so we are looking to bounce back. However, if you did want to see the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, however, we actually got 20 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now, a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong and got 20 right, which is a 90% win rate. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 90% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 90% win rate and get 20 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon. Should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $1,170 just yesterday. Another member who won $100 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group. And I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So I want to give a quick shout to Rashad Thomas 6528 who said cash me out, my man. So shouts out to him, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is none other than Kayla Thornton, and this one is for 5.5 rebounds, and this one is for less. Now, looking at Kayla Thornton, we've actually seen her go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, we see on May 28th, faced off against New York Liberty, where she had 6 rebounds there. After that, May 30th, faced off against Liberty again, where she had 6 rebounds. Then June 2nd, faced off against Minnesota, where she had 6 rebounds there. After that, on June 6th, faced off against Phoenix, where she had 3 rebounds, and then June 8th faced off against Las Vegas Aces with 11 rebounds there. So like I mentioned, we have seen her go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games, and her average over the last 5 is 6.4. Now, before we get into the reasonings for why we do actually like the under for this situation, we do need to look a bit further at the matchup. Obviously, Kayla Thornton is a great player for Golden State Valkyries, and she has done a fantastic job so far this season, and they face off against the Los Angeles Sparks. Now, looking at both of these teams, as you all know, Golden State Valkyries haven't had the greatest start to the regular season. They currently sit at 9th in the WNBA with a record of 3 wins and 5 losses. So that's equivalent to a 37.5% win percentage, so hasn't really looked too good there. When it comes to games at home, they are currently 2-2 record, and in away games, their record is 1-3. Now, they did win their most recent game, so they are looking to make this into a 2-game win streak, and they are going to be facing off against the Los Angeles Sparks like we mentioned. And Sparks on the other side also haven't had the greatest season because they currently rank 10th in the WNBA with a 3-win, 6-loss record. So very similar record. They do have a win percentage of 33.3%. So very close to each other. When we look at their home record, they currently have a record of 1-4 at home and then 2-2 at away. So it's definitely been an interesting time for them. They have won their most recent game as well, so they are also trying to look to get a 2-game win streak going on here. But obviously, we are looking at Kayla Thornton and looking at, LA Sparks. We do see when it comes to rebounds allowed, we do see that the Los Angeles Sparks do rank 4th. So they rank very well when it comes to restricting rebounds. And that is a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. Although Kayla Thornton is a big rebounder, Sparks will definitely, have a lot of focus on restricting rebounds. And we definitely see that affecting Thornton's line. Now, as you all know, Thornton is also a forward for this Golden State Valkyries team. And as you all know, Los Angeles Sparks actually do a fantastic job, not just at restricting rebounds, but also do a great job at restricting rebounds to the forward position. So we definitely see someone like Kayla struggling here. Now, when we look at her, yes, she has gotten so many games on the over, but if you do look even closer, you do see 3 out of those games, she only made it over by 0.5. So she did get a lucky end of the sticks. She did also face off during these last 5 games against a lot more easier teams when it comes to rebounds. So for that reason, coming into this next one, we should see a different outcome because, as we always mention, matchups. That's what's most important. And for someone like Kayla Thornton, we definitely still see her going on the under here, especially with a tougher, rebounding matchup, which is the LA Sparks. So Kayla Thornton, 5.5 rebounds, 4 less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than Dearica Hamby. So as you all know, Dearica Hamby, great player for none other than the LA Sparks. And this one is rebounds as well for 7.5, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Dearica Hamby, we actually have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, this definitely is an interesting one because we have seen that, not only has she gone on the under 3 out of the last 5, but on May 26th, she faced off against Chicago, had 6 rebounds there. She then had 6 rebounds against Atlanta on May 28th. After that, facing off against the Aces on May 31st, had 10 rebounds, then 8 rebounds on June 2nd against Phoenix, and then to finish off also on June 7th in the most recent game against Dallas, had 4 rebounds there. Now, as you all know, guys, there is only one game for today in the WNBA, which is the Sparks and Golden State Valkyries, so this is the same game. So LA Sparks, Golden State Valkyries, as we mentioned, we did just mention their ranking, but just to reiterate, Valkyries ranked 9th, Sparks ranked 10th. But looking at, Dearica Hamby and also her matchup, which is the Golden State Valkyries, we do see that Valkyries do actually rank tied 5th when it comes to rebounds allowed. Now, as you all know, there is 13 teams in the WNBA. So if you do rank in the top 5, you are considered a very good, rebounding team, and also do a great job at restricting rebounds as well. So for that reason, coming into this matchup, we do very much like the under for this situation here. When we look at someone like Dearica Hamby, like I mentioned, yes, we also have seen that over the last couple of games, or the last 5 games, her usage rate in the rebounding department just hasn't really been there. Even some of the games she did go on the over on wasn't really convincing enough to us. One of the games she went on the over by 0.5, so nothing really too major there. But coming into this next one, we do very much like the under for this situation for someone like Dearica Hamby. Now, I do believe when it comes to Hamby as well, when we look at Valkyrie, like I mentioned, they do a great job at restricting rebounds just in general, being in the top 5, but they also do a great job at doing that per position, which is to Dearica Hamby's position, which is that forward spot. So, taking those 2 things into account, it's definitely going to lead us to, really believe that, Dearica Hamby will be going on the under in this situation here. When you look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have our favorite for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Dearica Hamby, 7.5 rebounds, 4 less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than Azura Stevens. Now, when we look at Azura Stevens, as we all know, great player for none other than the actual LA Sparks as well. And this one is a fantastic one because we are actually looking at, a great pick of points. So this one's actually for 13.5, and this one actually is for less. So looking at Azura Stevens, we have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those last 5 games, we definitely have seen some pretty interesting things because when we do look at it, we do see that on May 26th, faced off against Chicago, she had 24 points there. May 28th, faced off against Atlanta, had 10 points in that matchup, then had 10 points against Las Vegas Aces on May 31st. Then June 2nd, faced off against Phoenix, had 5 points there, and then 21 points against Dallas on June 7th. So we definitely have seen some pretty interesting things when it comes to actually Azura Stevens, due to the fact that her usage rate in the actual points department has been a little bit on the lower side. So looking at Azura Stevens, we do know she plays that big, I wouldn't say big man, more like big woman position of the forward or the center. And obviously she does play for the LA Sparks, and they face off against the Golden State Valkyries. Now looking at Golden State Valkyries, they do actually rank 7th when it comes to points allowed. So they don't really rank too well. However, the reason why we still do like, the under for this situation here is due to the fact that Azura Stevens doesn't really have the highest usage rate in the points department. Yes, she has gone over at times, but a big reason for this is that when we look at Azura Stevens, she definitely has some outlier games. We do believe those are more outlier games that's brought this line a little bit too high, that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. Now, looking at someone like Azura Stevens, we also are looking even more closer, because when we look at, the Golden State Valkyrie and LA Sparks matchup between both of these teams, we also have seen, Azura, although she does play forward and center most of the time, Golden State Valkyries do a great job at restricting that position as well in the points department, so it's definitely a huge effect there. Now, our average over the last 5 has actually been 14, but like I mentioned, I do believe that 21-point game against Dallas and that 24-point game against Chicago has now brought this line a little bit too high, and now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. So we believe the line to be super inflated, and now there's a lot more value to go on the under. When you look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also are favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Azura Stevens, 13.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Sarah Ashley Parker. Now, as you all know, there is only one game in the WNBA, but it is still a very exciting game. But looking at Sarah, we have actually seen her do a really good job for her Los Angeles Sparks team, because she's been averaging 4.6 points, 2.7 rebounds, 1.6 assists, while also grabbing 0.8 steals. So Sarah Ashley has been a very good guard. Now, obviously she is a rookie, but her minutes have definitely been sometimes a lot more minutes, other times a little bit more restricted, because I do believe Sparks are just starting to get a feel for Sarah Parker in a sense of, trying to get her out there and play the right amount of minutes as a rookie. Now, looking at Los Angeles Sparks, as we all know, they face off against Golden State Valkyries. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game, but just to remind you all, between these two teams, where both of these teams rank, we did see right so far in the regular season, we have seen Los Angeles Sparks really struggle a little bit to really get anything going. Now, they did win their most recent game, so they are hoping to make it a 2-game win streak, but Los Angeles Sparks do rank 10th in the WNBA with a 3-6 record. So 3 wins, 6 losses, 33.3% win percentage. And on top of that, they're also 1 from 4 from home and 2 from 2 from away games. So, Sparks are looking to definitely try to change this season and turn this season around. It is still very early on, so anything can definitely really happen. Now, looking on the other side, Golden State Valkyries are somewhat in a similar position, because they only rank 1 level above them. They actually came in at the 9th spot with a record of 3 wins and 5 losses. So, they are also won their last game as well, which is interesting to see, because they are looking to make this a 2-game win streak as well. They went 2 from 2 from home and then 1 from 3 from away games. So it's definitely going to be a big matchup between both of these teams, because it is definitely going to not just help them get more wins under their belt, but hopefully push them into higher rankings early on. Now, looking at, their matchup, Golden State, we do know when we look at Golden State's defense, we have seen Valkyries actually rank 7th when it comes to points allowed, 7th when it comes to assists allowed, and 6th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So they rank pretty decently there. Now, obviously, guys, there is only 13 teams in the WNBA. So if you do rank around that 6th or 7th, you're pretty mid-tier. But we definitely still see that being enough to see someone like Sarah Ashley Parker go on the under here. Now, Sarah Ashley is a great player, do not get me wrong. However, we definitely have seen her usage rate be a little bit unpredictable and has been, very much on the under for this time as well. Now, looking at Sarah Ashley Parker and her last couple of games, or last 5 games at that, we see on the 26th they faced off against Chicago Sky, where they won 91-78. She actually had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist there. Then in an 88 82 loss against Atlanta on the 28th of last month, we saw her actually get 2 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists. After that, also faced off against on the 31st against Las Vegas Aces, where they actually lost 96-81. So definitely wasn't a good or wasn't a great game for them there. But in that matchup, we actually saw her have 3 points, 6 rebounds, and 0 assists in that matchup. Then faced off against Phoenix on the actual 2nd of this month, and they actually lost 85-80 in that matchup. Then after that, during that game, we actually saw her average 6 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist there, and 2 steals. And then against Dallas in the most recent game, where they were able to get the win, 93-79, she had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So as you guys see as well, you also see her minutes has gradually decreased as the game's gone on. Now, we don't really or aren't really expecting her to continue to decrease her minutes. I do believe that, Sparks are just really keeping a monitor on Sarah Ashley Barker, how she's doing out there on the floor. She is still just a rookie, so that's definitely something to take into consideration, but we definitely still see her going on the under here. Even the times where some games she definitely has big minutes, like the game against Atlanta where she had 20 minutes in that matchup, we still see her go on the under. And a big reason being for that is that when it comes to this team, she is still a rookie, and Sparks are looking more towards, I would say the veterans, or I would say more experienced players in this team to really provide a lot more of the scoring, the rebounding, and playmaking. And the fact that they now have Kelsey Plum, it's definitely been a big aspect there. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for someone like Sarah Ashley Barker. Now, we definitely still see her line being on the under in the points and rebounds. Now, a big reason being is that we highly doubt there will be an assist line coming out. Her usage rate is just a little bit too low for that. But like I always mentioned, I think all three definitely have the capability to definitely see her go on the under. But I just would keep an eye out for points and rebounds, because I am expecting that there will be a line out for those two. So keep an eye out for Sarah Ashley Barker for the under for this one. So keep out for the line. If the line is too close to our averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about Janelle Salaun. Now, as you all know, Janelle is a fantastic player for Golden State Valkyries. Now, she's also a rookie as well, and she's been putting up some big numbers for this Golden State team. 10.4 points she's averaged so far, 5.6 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and 0.6 steals. So she's definitely done a fantastic job in her first couple of games in the WNBA. But when we look at Golden State Valkyries and their matchup, the Los Angeles Sparks, now, obviously, we recently talked about it, but just to reiterate, Valkyries do rank 9th, Sparks do rank 10th. And this is definitely going to be an exciting game, because looking at Los Angeles Sparks, we do see that the Sparks do rank 10th when it comes to points allowed, 9th when it comes to assists allowed, and then when it comes to rebounds allowed, we see the Sparks rank a little bit better as a rank 4th. Now, when it comes to someone like Janelle, we actually do still see her going on the over in this situation here. And a big reason being is that when it comes to Golden State Valkyries, they are currently experiencing a couple of injuries with some of their main players, and it's definitely going to increase the odds of Janelle having a little bit more usage rate out there on the floor. Now, Cecilia's injured, and on top of that, there are also some other big players that are injured. So Cecilia Senelacini, I think, is probably one of the bigger, more higher usage rate players that is going to be injured for this game, and we definitely still see that affecting, Janelle in a positive way, as she may have a lot more, I would say, usage rate out there on the floor. Now, looking at Janelle Salaun as well, we have seen her last 5 games. She's definitely had some really big games, and has also done it in a very efficient manner, and other times not so really. But looking at her game on the 28th against New York Liberty, we actually saw them lose 95-67, but she had 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists in that matchup. Then faced off against New York Liberty again, 82-77 loss, had 18 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists there with 1 steal. After that, on the 2nd, faced off against Minnesota, had 5 points, 6 rebounds, and also 3 assists there. So looking at the next one, we actually see on the 6th, they faced off against Phoenix, where she actually had 9 points, 0 rebounds, 1 assist there. And on top of that, however, they still lost the game 86-77. And then faced off against Las Vegas Aces, had a 95-68 win, where she actually actually had 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists in 21 minutes of play. So we definitely have seen Janelle be, really great in some games. Other games hasn't had that high of a usage rate. But coming into this next one, we definitely are expecting Janelle to be able to go on the over in this one. Due to the major injuries and the fact that Janelle will probably take a more bigger role coming into this game, we definitely see that having a huge effect there. Now, when it comes to Sparks and Golden State, both are pretty fast-paced teams as well, so we are expecting a pretty decent pace when it comes to this matchup. I wouldn't say anything too crazy, but definitely enough to see high volume shooting, high volume rebounding, and also playmaking from someone like Janelle. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Janelle's line. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, especially if the line is under her averages. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Emma Cannon. Now, as you all know, Emma Cannon, great player for Los Angeles Sparks, and she's done a fantastic job during the regular season because we've actually seen her average 3.7 points, 1.7 rebounds, and 0.4 assists. So she has done a fantastic job for none other than Los Angeles Sparks, and I think Emma Cannon is definitely going to be a big asset in this game. Now, looking at someone like Emma Cannon and the matchup I face off against, which is Golden State Valkyries, just to mention again, we do know Valkyries do rank 9th and then Sparks do rank 10th. But looking at this matchup, it's definitely going to be an exciting one. And looking at also Emma Cannon's last 5 games, we have seen her do pretty well in certain matchups. Now we see their matchup on the 26th facing off against Chicago, had a 91-78 victory. She had 5 minutes of play time, but had 0 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists there. After that, faced off again on the 28th against Atlanta, 88-82 loss, where she actually had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist there. After that, faced off against the Aces on the 31st, lost 96-81, and she actually had 6 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists there. Then on the 2nd of this month, faced off against Phoenix Mercury, 85-80 loss with 3 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist there. After that, they were finally able to get their win against Dallas Mavericks with a 93-79 win on the 7th with 4 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists there. So when it comes to someone like Emma Cannon, we do actually like the over for this situation here for someone like Emma Cannon. But looking more in depthly, a big reason being is that, like we mentioned before, Sparks do rank 10th when it comes to points allowed, 9th when it comes to assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, we also do see that the Sparks rank 4th. So we have seen them actually do a fantastic job there. Now, we do very much like, the over for this situation for someone like Emma Cannon, since Sparks rank very, very low. But Emma does have a little bit more of a higher usage rate in points compared to the other departments. Assists, she doesn't really get too much. Rebounds, she definitely does get a couple of rebounds here and there. But I definitely think you should focus on points, as that where I definitely see someone like Emma Cannon being able to go on the over. Another bigger reason for this is that Golden State Valkyries actually do a poor job at restricting points to the forward position at times. So, it's definitely going to be a huge factor there coming into this game. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Emma Cannon coming into this matchup. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, especially the line is under her averages.